everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where your boys always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and today, guys, is Taylor Rogers going to be the next Blue Jay bullpen guy to save the day? Yeah, I hope so. Well, do I? I don't know. Maybe I do. We're going to break it down. Before we get to it, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and use code TODAYJAYS on Betstamp. The links are in the description. It's a great platform. If you love betting, you got to download it. It's completely free.
Totally, dude.
All right. So, we had a little tweet come out from Josh Goldberg.
Yeah, and then an article following that.
And then an article on
rumors are starting to percolate. It's like the kindling of the big fire that will eventually one day be the signing. It's starting,
It's starting now. The conversations are beginning, so let's have that conversation.
Let's do it, dude.
It's around Taylor Rogers, as we mentioned in the beginning of this video. Now, he's coming off a really down season.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, Taylor Rogers, relief pitcher.
Yeah.
A lot of the time spent with Minnesota. Last year, he bounced around San Diego Padres. Then at trade deadline, got traded in a weird move for Josh Hader, kind of like a back and forth thing. Went to Milwaukee Brewers. Had one of the worst seasons that he's had in his career.
Yeah, it was absolutely awful. 4.76 ERA with a whip. The whip is not even that bad. It's 1.18.
Yeah,
so it's actually not bad. So I kept digging a little further, trying to find out, like, why is it so bad? It looks like he's just getting hit hard, giving up a lot of extra bases. So that could also contribute to a higher ERA.
And speaking, too, of, like, other good stats to just look at, the FIP, very nice as well.
FIP is very nice.
3.32 FIP compared to his 4.75 ERA. So just all, like, better sabermetrics than what the ERA was.
It just seems like a weird year. I mean, it's his first year not on the Minnesota Twins,
getting traded between two teams, getting moved around,
moving his family. So it feels like, with bullpen pitchers especially, like, unless you're the elites of the elites, your career is gonna just be a fucking wave.
Yeah, and even the elites of the elites, like Josh Hader, for instance, and Taylor Rogers before this, like, very good, right? It's like we're seeing right now. It's like they can bounce around. They can definitely bounce around with their ERAs and stuff like that. What is the exact tweet from Josh Goldberg when he tweeted this thing out a few days ago? What did he say?
Yeah, he basically just said the same thing we're saying. He had a rough year, but he could be an interesting target for the Blue Jays bullpen.
Yeah.
Now, however, he is also saying he has homer issues, like I said, with the extra bases, but good strikeout numbers. Now, I know a lot of guys in the Blue Jays community. First, you want a lefty. They want more lefties because we have Tim Mesa. A lot of people are not happy with Tim Mesa, so that makes sense. But then a lot of people also say, we need a guy with a high velo. We need guys with high velo and high strikeouts. Got the strikeout numbers, but the velo's a 94. It's not that high.
The velo's not there, man. But I will say, as far as a K machine, I like this guy a lot. And when we're thinking about setup dudes, because, like, he actually spent a lot of his time being the closer. If he came to Toronto, that would not be his role. You know, it's like Romano's still the locked-in closer right there. You are going to be one of our setup options. I like it a lot in the sense where if we got Kikuchi going, we got Burrios going or something like that, maybe even Gausman, for instance, and, bases are juiced, or like there's a runner on second, there's a runner on third, there's two outs. We have to get, like, we gotta make this out, or like if there's one out, right? It's like we're looking for the K right here, even if it is in like the 5th or the 6th inning. Maybe you throw in a Taylor Rogers with crazy high K stuff, and then he can get you out of that jam. And I think that that's somebody in our bullpen when you look at like the Simbers of the world who give up the ground balls, when you look up the Mesas, other than Romano, it feels like there's nobody in there who can really pitch you out of that jam and get the strikeout that you need, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm all for it. Like, when I see our bullpen, like, everyone wants the quick fixes right now. Give me the elites of the elites. Like,
totally.
The reality is they're not out there. And if they are, no one wants to give them up, right? They're only on the free agent market. So do anything possible, Blue Jays management, to slowly build up your pen. That's what it feels like they're doing with the additions of Pop and Bass at the deadline. They're not going in for the big guns. They're slowly building up the floor, and then maybe a prospect comes around, Nate Pearson or someone else that can convert, someone with high velo that could actually do some damage.
Well, and Taylor Rogers, now, I really do believe that this is possible here, folks, because Taylor Rogers is a name that's been thrown around from Blue Jays before. It's right. I remember a few trade deadlines ago, like, Taylor Rogers was a guy that we were looking at. It's like, this is a guy who I think our coaches seem to have some type of interest in, and specifically, we're getting analysts now, we're getting articles come out about this. Now, he did struggle a lot last year, but could that potentially help us? Taylor Rogers, elite for a long period of time there with his career. Might not get paid like it, though, because of this past year. He's a free agent right now. We could sign him. What do you think we can pay him? And, like, are we going to get him at a discount, or is he going to hold out for the proper deal?
I think this. I mean, he's obviously not going to get paid as much as he would if he didn't have that bad year, but I don't think it's going to be so much of a difference. You have Sportrack right now saying expected annual value is $13 million. I could see him, getting an average, I could see him getting an average annual value at around that $10 million range plus, because people need lefties in the pen. People need high strikeout guys. They all need bullpen guys. So I think that's going to compete. Like, that's going to drive up his price range. And just like if we're bringing this up, like, oh, well, he's had great numbers in the past. And just this was a weird year. I think all management's going to see the exact same thing. And they're not going to worry too much or try to drive down the price. Also knowing that there is competition. So, look, we have a very slim margin this offseason as Toronto Blue Jays to spend money. I'm cool if our one bullet, if that's all we're going to spend is one bullpen guy, sure. I mean, that's definitely the biggest struggle for our team is that bullpen. So, sure. But I think they're probably going to spend a little more. So, I'm all for getting Taylor Rogers.
I mean, I'm good with it, man. It's like, again, like, we do need to acquire these guys. We've been screaming about these freaking coaches and their pitching for a long time. Like, we got shorts on shorts on shorts right now.
Oh my God.
Basically yelling about how our pitching coaches need to get fired and how our management needs to spend more money on pitchers. This is a pitcher. I know he wasn't great last year, but that also lends itself to the coaches. Are you good enough to fix him? If you aren't, you should get fired. He clearly has had stuff work for him in the past. It can happen. He had great years in Minnesota, so he's got potential here. He's only 31 years old, so it's not age. Sign him, make him good again, and just hope that he can get back to that 31 save dude that he was.
Well, think about Jimmy Garcia. Jimmy Garcia is a prime example where when we signed him, we paid him not as much as the $13 million, but $7 million per year. And we're like, ooh, don't know, because he had some rough years. Look at him now.
Literally look at him now, like exceptional signing. So I could totally be down for Taylor Rogers, and it's looking, guys, like this could be a name that we hear a lot more about this offseason. Folks, let us know in the comments down below what you think about Taylor Rogers. Is he the right guy? Is Edwin Diaz the guy for Toronto Blue Jays? Now that would be freaking amazing.
We're going to talk about that eventually.
Absolutely. But let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.
And guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and use code TODAYJAYS on Betstamp to get discounts and deals. $3 a month to become a Patreon. Shout out, thank you to all of our Patreon members right here. You guys are freaking deacon awesome.
Thanks so much for watching.
And go Jays, go!